second. We need to do this. And then I should be good to go. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing. I am still having a really bad breathing time. So I can't really guarantee how long we're going to be able to stream, but I did not want to skip another stream. So we are here. We are going to keep on keeping on and see how long we can go. When I start to get super exhausted, we will be ending the stream. I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully, I can stream for a decent amount of time. Ideally, the 2.5 hours, but I'm not sure how well that's going to go. So, today we are going to continue working on our rigging shackle. And this is a project that I've been working on for the past week or so. So basically, we're going to make 2 lengths with chunks of steel on both sides. We are going to flatten out those chunks, turn them into eyes. But first, we're going to thread our hooks through. This is the smaller one, so it doesn't really fit well. This is the bigger one, so it does fit. It fits pretty well like that. So we are going to flatten these out, put eye holes in them, and bend them so that we can put a bolt through those eye holes. This is going to allow us to attach these hooks onto some chain that I have over there that Mahalo sent me. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So yeah. The first thing that we're going to do today is we've got some pretty sharp corners on the eyes for these hooks. So I'm going to try and kind of flatten those out a little bit, give us maybe like an octagonal profile on those, just so that they're not cutting into the shackle. And from there, we are going to lock this in by creating our eyes for our shackle. If we make it that far and we're still streaming, we will start making a secondary shackle for our second hook. Alrighty, so first things first, let's turn on our forge. It is super, super hot out today, so I will probably very shortly here be putting on my industrial fan. But first, let's start the forge. Alrighty. Okie doke. I don't know why, but my transmitter in my pocket is kind of digging into my leg for no reason. That's kind of strange. It doesn't normally do that. I'm not sure why. Okay, so let's put on the headphones so I can hear myself speaking. And I'm probably not going to be as shouty today as I just don't have the breath support to be able to do that properly. So maybe, or I'm sure you guys will be fine hearing me, but I might not hear myself speaking very well today. And so I don't know how this is going to go. We shall see. Okay. So like I said, the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to heat up these guys and attempt to get or round out some of these corners on the eyes. So I'll put these over here for just a moment. Well, not just a moment, until we're next. Okay. Hear you well. Awesome. Hey, Shelly, welcome to the stream. Hey, guys. Yeah, I can hear myself just like barely. It's kind of, I don't know. I feel like I should be shouting a little bit more, but yeah, I'll manage. It'll work. Let's see. I've got everything set up pretty well. And evening sandwich, welcome to the stream. So I think everything should be good to go. Ooh, I can start feeling that breeze. It's really nice. Um, so uh, Wednesday, I was unable to stream. I had brought all of my equipment out. I am feeling better than I was Wednesday. I will say that. Um, so yeah, I brought out all of my equipment, and I just set it all up. And by the time I was about to hit the stream button, I just had this coughing fit, and it was absolutely exhausting. It was probably the worst coughing fit I've had in a while. So unfortunately, I didn't think that I was going to be able to stream, and I needed to rest. And it was a good call, because when after I put my stuff back in the house, I ended up passing out on the couch for 2.5 hours. So it was probably a good thing that I did not stream on Wednesday. So today I am feeling a tiny bit better. So, like I said, I can't really guarantee how long I will be streaming, but I will stream for as long as I feel able. When I start feeling a little bit exhausted and out of breath, I will probably end the stream. I'm hoping that, you know, I'm not wasting your time. And I know that you guys wouldn't consider me wasting your time by just being out here for like a half an hour or whatever, but it feels to me, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not feeling great, but I wanted to hang out with you guys, so here I am, and we're gonna do our best. So all right, do I have enough heat? There we go. We can go up a little bit. So yeah, um, I think my trials and tribulations on this breathing thing actually started on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. So as a lot of you guys know, I've the butler and I have started a garden, and it's been really fun watching the plants grow from like the seeds to little seedlings. So on Tuesday, we transplanted them from the little starter trays that we bought, and we put them in the ground. Last weekend, we did all of the tilling in, everything was ready to go. We just didn't have like the energy to plant everything. So on Tuesday, we finished. We planted all of our plants. If any stream wastes a viewer's time, then the solution is only a mouse click away. We're all here by choice. Thanks so much, Sandwich. Thank you so much for your support, all of you. You know. So yeah, we planted all of our starters, and it was great. And it was, I mean, it was work, but it wasn't that bad. But we let the cat out and to like play in the yard, and we were keeping a pretty good eye on him. And it was fine. He was just kind of like wandering around, sniffing things and whatnot. And then I went to throw away the plastic trays after we had finished putting all of we were just cleaning up. And I went out to the garbage. And when I came back, I asked the butler where the cat was. And they didn't know. And I didn't know where the cat was. And so we spent 20 minutes looking for the cat. And I was like squatting up and down looking for things or looking underneath of things, because cats, they're like, they either have to climb something or get under something, right? And so I eventually found him. He was under my back porch. We have a giant deck that there's like a couple spaces that animals have been able to get in there. They were dug up by the by the groundhog, the butler's fault. I mean, not really, not necessarily, because I don't know that the butler knew that I was going to throw away the garbage. So it was probably both of our faults. Um, so yeah, I found him under the porch, under the deck, and it took us 45 minutes to coax him out. And the amount of effort that I had to because I was like crawling under there and trying to like coax him out and stuff, and that just did not do any good for my lungs, and it was just exhausting, unfortunately. And I knew I'd be tired, but I thought I'd be okay. So Wednesday rolls around, and I was fine until I had set everything up, and So I don't know. I'm still feeling a little under the weather. Part of it too is that we had a major storm, and so it's like really humid still. And when the air gets like thick, it's harder for me to breathe for some reason. So we're out here. We're gonna have fun, and for as long as I can. So. But yes, I am feeling a lot better than I was on Wednesday, and so that is a, at least that's a small comfort. So under the weather, literally, yes, exactly. I am literally under the weather. I don't know. And it's like when I was in college, I used to work at this grocery store as like a cashier, and I would always tell the customers, every day I'm breathing is a good day because consider the alternative. And you know what? I never really thought that I would have to consider the alternative. Hey, Yankee, welcome to the stream. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us today. So, yeah, I don't know that it's necessarily irony because I don't think that's the proper true definition. Maybe that's Alanis Morissette's definition of irony, but Okay, so we've got plenty of heat on that eye, so we're going to try and take some of the corners off of it to kind of soften it up. Because that particular eye is going to be kind of running around and flipping around the shackle, I want to make sure that it's not like putting extra friction and pressure on the center bar. So I think that by softening those edges, we will get a little bit longer lifespan. Breathing again and again proves to be kind of important. I know, right? It's super important. Okay, let's see. Sometimes I hold my breath for a really long time. Yeah, I do too sometimes, but I don't have as long of a breath to hold anymore. I need a different set of tongs. I think these will probably be better. All right. It's one of those things too where like most of the time I forget that I have trouble breathing, and then when I have trouble, you know, that's when I remember. And it's kind of one of those things, it comes back with a revenge, So like I said, I'm kind of trying to soften up these corners a little bit. And it's more the interior than the exterior, and I've done a pretty decent job on the exterior, but maybe the interior needs a little bit more help. So we're going to heat that back up again. We're going to see what we can do. All right. I put the inset on the wrong side, didn't I? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Now that I look at it, I don't know. But yeah. So I hope that I am not too like low energy today for you guys, but we're gonna get by. We're gonna have fun. So let's see, what else was I gonna say? Oh, so Wednesday I didn't really get to talk to you guys about the video that I posted. So I was super excited because I posted a video exclusively on the lizard that we made together. So this guy right here, our lizard. And so I made the video of the lizard and I posted it on Wednesday, and I appreciate those of you who have watched it already. And I actually got a comment from Let's Go Blacksmithing and Adventures. And he said that the lizard looked great. So I was super excited to hear from Let's Go Blacksmithing. So, yay! the person who inspired the video, took time out of their day to comment. So I was excited about that. And if you guys are actually interested in seeing the garden, next Thursday I have like a short that is some video footage of the garden. So you guys can check that out on a week from yesterday, 6 days from now. And I don't know, maybe I'll post because like it's private now. So maybe I can post a link in the Discord and you guys can check it out. It is a vertical video though, so the dreaded vertical video. So yeah, it's been kind of interesting. Like, hey Corwin, welcome to the stream. But yeah, so we got three plants that were peppers and they're taller. They were already started, and then we buried all of our like the little starters that we made with the seeds. So some of them are really little, like this big, and some of them are getting pretty tall. How am I? I am a little bit under the weather, literally. I'm still having a lot of trouble breathing. Like I said, I'm gonna stream for as long as I can today, but I will probably end up having to do a shorter stream, and you might see me like lose my breath a few times today. So we shall see. I kind of wanted to just hang out with you guys. So it's like, even if we don't do a lot of blacksmithing today, maybe we can do some talking, hang out. That's part of the beauty of Twitch, right? We can just hang out even if we're not doing anything specific, right? Okay, let's do another heat while I got some breath. No, I think I was right. I think that's the right side. The correct side, maybe? I don't know. The better view for you guys. All right. So like I said, we're just trying to soften up some of these corners, reduce a little bit of the friction. There we go. All right, now let's straighten this out a little bit. Got a few weird corners and things, or not corners, but edges. It's a little bit bendy. Okay, so I think that's all right for the moment. Maybe, I don't know. More heat though. I think I'll do one more heat just to kind of fix up some of the facets that I've left in there, and then we will thread it. Hey, Dr. Optimal. Hi, Ray. Just remember to breathe, and we will hang out for as long as you feel like streaming. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that support. I think a lot of times I really forget that I have, this limitation when I come out here. We just get to have fun, and I don't have to think about all of that stuff and, life in general. And it really lifts my spirits to come out here. So, it really makes me happy that you guys, want to watch, even if we're not, using as much of the fire. All right, I have the fan on, but I need to direct it a little bit closer to me because I am it's starting to get warmer in here. It's going to be one of those like summers where it is a scorcher. All right. This guy. Wait, no, I think I want to do this one first. So when I was kind of looking at these guys on, I think it was Monday after it started cooling down, I kind of was playing with it to see how well it would fit on each of these hooks, right? Because I want to lock the hook onto the center area. And so we got rid of the corners so that we could thread it on here, right? And when I was looking at the smaller eye, I realized that it's not that much bigger. This side isn't as much. Let me try and say that again. Phrase it better. Okay, so when I look at these guys to thread them together, I realize that I could really, it's not that far off, right? I could totally just hammer this a couple times this direction, and even the small one would slip over. So that's awesome. This project is for your anvil. Do you, since you've been a blacksmith, ever have these moments of, hey, I can make this thing to make life easier? All the time, right? I always have these moments where, I could just make X item and it would make my life so much easier, you know? And that's part of what we're doing right now, you know? And know that you had just mentioned that, you know, this is a hold down to make it a little bit easier for me to keep things on top of the anvil. Part of the reason that my other hold down, which is this guy right here, isn't working as well as originally I thought it would, is because I have this, the plate on the top of my anvil is half broken off, right? So these guys work a little bit better when, you know, they are flat on there, and the broken off piece kind of makes it a little bit harder to get that not weird, but to get the leverage on there. So I really think that the chain might work a little bit better. And it took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted to go about this. So, you know, I finally think I have it figured out, but you know what? Theoretically and reality are completely different things. So we might come up with this project and it just, you know, finish it and it doesn't even work. But, you know, I think maybe it will. And it's a fun project anyway. Hey, Mahalo, welcome to the stream. All right, so this is going to be our next piece, I think. I want to get rid of some of the corners on this side, too. All right, we've got plenty of heat there. So let's see, maybe... Nah, I think we're good. I think I know what I'm doing, maybe. We're going to try it. So we're just trying to kind of take some of the facets off of this guy. And it seems to be working pretty darn well. We are kind of expanding the hole a little bit, but I think that's all right. Looks pretty darn good. And we'll be able to thread that right through there real easy. Look at that. Okay, so this I'm going to cool off now. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to need to change the water in there. There's some mold floating at the top, and I'm not entirely sure why. Okay, let's heat this one up now. Mostly lurking while running errands. Have a fun Friday. You as well, Mahalo. Thank you so much for joining us, even though you're running errands. That's a 50 streak. That is incredible. Thank you so much for that loyalty. That's so cool. Quenching bucket. Shh, yes. So I think I need to change the water in the quench bucket because, like I said, there's a little bit of mold floating at the top on it. And I think the reason for that is I decided that I was going to use the same can that I used for quenching our scissors and our like punches and chisels to kind of cool down some of the animals. And so when I put the excess water back into the quench bucket, a little bit of oil came with it. And so that oil is floating on the top. And I think that might be what the mold is kind of attaching to. My streak got cut again, even though I was here Monday. Oh, that's lame. I don't know why it does that. I'm sorry. Whoops, as I drop it all the way in the bottom. There we go. I love the streaks, right? Because then we can be like, oh, look how long we've been together. But I'm also, you know, it is always disappointing seeing your streak cut. And I also, you know, I like the streaks, but I also love that you guys, you know, can take breaks and then come back, you know? The fact that you like coming back. Hey, Drunken Dwarf Iron, welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. Yes, I heard that happen in another. Oh, I had that happen in another stream. It skipped a stream. Oh, that's annoying. You know, you put all of the effort in, you're proud of it. You don't want to see that break. Luckily, we still have followage. Yes. Lots of following. It's exciting, you know? Okay. So that one's good. And that'll fit right in there just like so. Woo! And it spins around and flings water everywhere. Or do we? Oh, that's not a command I have. Yeah, I don't think I have. No, I don't have. Oh, follow age. No, I don't have that as a command. I read that weirdly. I'm sorry. I think. Is that something that Nightbot has, or is that something that Twitch does? I didn't see that as a command in Nightbot. I didn't know that it existed. So if you guys would like, I can see if I can't look up how to do that and put it up on Nightbot at some point. But I don't know if by adding that command to Nightbot, if it will reset it to like, you know, the second that I put it there, or if it's going to allow, you know, if it's been keeping track this whole time, if that makes sense. All right, let me check this guy. Oh, I haven't even been recording that. That's all right, though. I don't really need it. I have a couple of attempts already. Okay. So once again, we are going to continue taking the corners off of the eye. This is the second eye on the second hook. Although technically this is the first hook that we made. So because this is the first hook that we made, the eye is a little bit thinner. So we're probably not going to spend quite as much time rounding out, because I don't want it to stretch too much farther, and I don't want it to like crack, you know, because it's a lot thinner. You might just turn it on. I think it's built into Nightbot. It pulls from Twitch. Okay. It should just track from when you followed the streamer. I think that's stored somewhere. There is definitely a place that it stores that information, because I think Mahalo sent me a link to this like website that like has all of the stats for the entire Twitch. So it tells me people's start date for their following and their subscription, and like all of the for the entire history of the channel. So the bot commands. Oh, okay. Well, now you guys have the link to that, the commands. So I didn't even know you guys could do that. All right, let's check out and see if we can't do another heat. But yeah, I know for a fact that Ping and Mahalo should be able to add commands to Nightbot if they want to do so. I think I allowed that. Since they are moderators on the stream. Whoops. Like I said, we're trying to be a little bit on the gentler side on this, just so that we're not screwing things up too much, thinning them out. I guess not necessarily screwing them up, but thinning them out at least. Okay. So it looks pretty good. I think I might do one more heat on that. We do have like a little bit of a weirdness going on with that. So let me see if I can fix that in our next heat. And then from there, we'll continue working on our shackle. Yeah, I used to mod years ago. I retired when I got my current job. Yeah, I used to mod another Discord, or not Discord, another Twitch channel for quite a while. But I ended up having to stop modding it because I just the streamer started streaming at a time that I just couldn't mod anymore because I went to bed. So, you know, I still had work to do. I still had things I had to do. What kind of steel did you use for this? This is just mild steel. It is a 10-8 or a 10-19 mild steel. So 10-19 denotes how much carbon, how much iron is in the mix. So it's a very low carbon steel. This is a water quenching, and it really never hardens. So this is like the same steel that they use for like girders and industrial applications. I figured because we are going to be keeping it relatively thick and we're not going to be using it for anything terribly strenuous, that it would be okay in this particular application. If you guys want to make rigging shackles and hooks, you might consider using tool steels. Also, I recommend heavily getting your pieces evaluated by a structural mechanic or like a structural engineer. So because I can't guarantee the weight that these guys are going to handle, and I would hate for you to destroy something or someone because they fail. They use steel for burgers. Explain some things, right? I think I meant to say girders, like I-beams and giant pieces of angle iron, construction beams. Girders is spelled Gurters, I think. Something like that. I do have a piece of structural steel that was gifted to me after a building renovation, and it's like yay wide and yay big long. It's really, really heavy. I would bring it out here if I had more breath and more stamina to use, but yeah. Probably you said that. Yeah, I'd show you, but I would rather use the stamina elsewhere. Kind of like garters, but not exactly. Yeah, I mean garters, they're like those little like stretchy things that hold up your knickers, right? Your pantyhose or whatever. They toss them at weddings, right? All right. Are we done with the ad, or is the ad gonna come up later? I lost track of which. I think it's GURDERS. I'm not positive on that. I am the worst speller ever. Let me look. I'll Google it. Ha, yes. Okay, it's GI. It's that. So yes, that. Because I can't spell worth anything, guys. I'm a slave to spell check. All right. So once this set of ads is over, I will pull out this guy one more time. We're gonna see if we can't straighten out the hole. It's a little bit diagonal. Once that happens, like I will thread it through our shackle, and then we'll continue working on it. Trainer, basically carrier. See, that makes sense because a truss or a girder, that it bears all of the weight of a building. Like skyscrapers and stuff, they get these giant girders, giant trusses. All right. Like I said, let's do one more heat on this, and then we'll start threading it through and continuing to work on our shackle. All right. I'm good on, having the stamina, but my brain is starting to go. So this is, yeah. It might. I think I'm all right for the moment, but this is where I need to actually start paying attention to how I'm feeling. Okay. I think that's a little bit better. I'm going to hammer this right here. Oh, no, actually, I've bent it more. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. Let's try this direction. That's a little better, I think. I hope. Yeah, that's working a lot more, a lot better. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good on this one. It looks a lot straighter than it was before. And I don't want to make it too much more skinny, so I think what we're going to do is we're just going to cool this guy off. Okay, there's that. It's a little steamy, it's a little warm, but it's all right. All right, let's check. Have we made this any bigger? It does not look like it, not this time. So that's actually probably a good thing. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to heat this guy up. Okay. Made that a little less sharp, so it should be good. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we are going to thread this one on. This is the larger one of the two, and I think it'll be a better. a better fit this time. We will make something a little bit closer on our second attempt for that guy. All right, so what we're gonna do is after that is nice and heated, we are going to thread it through here, and then we're gonna start flattening out the rounded section, right? Because we're going to be punching, or not punching, we're gonna be drifting the holes on either end, right? And so I've got my drift here. And so once I drift those holes, it's going to open up and widen out the sides, and that's going to lock the hook onto the shackle. And so it's just kind of going to be stuck on there. We're not going to be able to take it off. Once we have both of those holes on there and opened up correctly, we're going to bend it into a U shape. So it's kind of going to be like that, or maybe like that. I need both ends of that we've opened up to be parallel to one another, so I can shove a bolt through both ends and bolt it down. That's how we're going to attach it to the chain on both ends. I've been using this propane tank for a really long time, and I think it's finally starting to empty out. I have a brand new tank that I bought like last week, and I haven't even opened it. So if that guy, or if we're still going and that guy runs out, I've got another tank for it. Better lock the hook than hog the lock, or hog the look. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, we want to lock the hook on there because that will allow us to take the shackle and the hook off of the chain. Like a hot rivet, like put the Empire State Building together. Yes, very similarly, right? So a lot of girders get put together. They drill holes in both sides of the girder, and then they put a giant long bolt through both ends, and then they put a rivet head on the other side. So you've got a whole rivet all the way along in the center of the like square shape. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. But instead of using a rivet, we are going to be using a bolt so that I can remove it if I need to. Remove and replace the chain or the shackle or whatever I need to, you know. The other thing I need to do is I need to look up how to put the chain back together, right? It is a motorcycle chain, so it's got like those little figure 8 loopy things that are, or I guess, links. And then there is like a rivet or like a pin that kind of holds them all together. So I got to figure out the best way to reattach it in the method that we're trying to use it. I know that it's possible. I've seen it before. I just have to figure it out. So we're going to probably Google that at some point in the future. Okay. Do we got heat enough? I think so. I think so. We'll see how well this does. All right. Let's move the camera. I think I'll move it over here. And I probably want it to go up a little bit too. There we go. That should work. Okay. That's quitter talk. You're assuming it might fail. Your work is better than it will last for centuries, right? I hope it lasts for centuries, and that would be nice. But I might also want to use like the shackle or the chain for another purpose, you know? So now that's on there, and I'm going to start flattening it out. Okay. Okay. So now it's relatively flat, and let's see, is it kind of locked in there? It kind of looks like it is. I don't think it's going to come out very easily. So that's probably exactly what we want to see. And so I'm going to push this all the way back so that we can stick it into the forge enough to get this heated up again. Because this whole setup isn't going to all sit in the forge together very well. It won't fit. So now we're going to heat it up again. See, now this is the perfect opportunity for using a hold down, right? So because we have threaded the hook onto our shackle, now we also have the weight of the hook pushing down the shackle, and it's going to make it a little bit on the challenging side to put the hole in here. I think I'll make it happen. I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to have the shackle sitting on top of the broken section of the anvil, so that way the hook can kind of like rest on the lower step, right? I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to go about doing this. I kind of got a plan. All right. Okay, so it looks like our goodness. It looks like our drift is okay at the top. We've got a lot of mushrooming here at the bottom. This might cause an issue later on, but I think it's going to be all right for the moment. Seems like a good way to do it. See, that's theoretically it should work pretty well. But as I've said, before, theory and practicality are two completely different things. So we shall see if it works or not. Okay, we've got plenty of heat. Let's try this. All right, so I'm going to put us right there. All right, and we're going to kind of set up the anvil a little bit so that I don't have to waste as much time. So we're going to put that in just like so. Alrighty. And the first heat always takes a little bit longer. You can definitely tell where that lovely drift is starting. So we're going to heat this back up again, and we will kind of go a little bit more in earnest. It seems like it's doing all right this way. It seems like my theory panned out for the moment. So we shall see how long this takes us. I might end up taking a little bit longer than I normally would. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna make it happen. All right. Keep that up. So I think I'm going to be forced to rest this weekend. But I think the butler is going to visit our nephew. We've been doing a bi weekly kind of visit with our nephew where we kind of babysit him for a couple hours every other week. And that way it gives his parents a chance to do some stuff around the house. And it's always fun. He is about a little over 1 year old. So he's just now starting to get to the point where he's, you know, excited about seeing the sights and he's able to kind of toddle along and things like that. He's learning how to talk. So that's always exciting to see. And the best part is that we get to give him back at the end of the day. I know that sounds pretty bad, but I don't know. I just don't have the stamina to take care of a kid. So I'm really glad that I get to, you know, play with my nephew and enjoy the good parts at least. And yeah, should be fun and exciting. Um, we also have to get groceries this weekend. It's Friday, and I'm super excited that it is the end of the week. I think the butler is more excited than I am, though. I feel like I haven't done quite as much as I normally do over the weekend. Yes, it's nice when you can spoil them and give them back. Yes, pop them up full of sugar and, you know, caffeine, and then give them back, right? I told the butler that once he gets a little bit older, you know, that to like 5, 6, 7, we can totally get or bring him to Chuck E. Cheese's, and then we'll get to play all of the games, and you know, he'll be a little bit old enough to like enjoy them as well. So you know, I'll be able to teach him how to play skee ball and you know, like um, the mole, you know, the whack a mole. Those are my favorite games. All right, let's do another heat. Did I put that on the right side? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't think I did. I think I want to put it on that side. There we go. I used to love going to Chuck E. Cheese. It was like a favorite thing of mine when I was a kid. They don't allow unaccompanied adults in there, which I don't blame them, to be quite honest. Liability being what it is and whatnot. All right. Oh, we have bent our drift. We're going to have to fix that. We'll heat this up in the meantime. Goodness gracious, that's actually pretty bad. Okay, that's better. Okay. That's the problem with having drifts that are made out of just mild steel. They have a tendency to bend when you're using them. And that is unfortunately what I am running up against today. But it also means that you can correct any bending and deformation as it happens. So it's not too bad. So the reason that we are using the drift for these shackles is because you lose a lot less material by starting with a slit and then expanding it into a full hole, like circular hole, than you would if we were using even a punch, right? It's kind of analogous, right? You lose less material when you are punching a hole as opposed to drilling a hole. You lose even less material when you are drifting a hole as opposed to punching a hole, if that makes sense. You get a lot smaller of a slug that way. It also helps when you have a thinner taper on your chisel or like on your chisel end of your drift. And so it works pretty well. This one's kind of getting old, so the end of it is a little bit more blunt, but we're still getting a far less devastating loss of material with this guy. Okay, let's do another heat. Okay. Starting to get a little bit of bending, so I'm going to straighten that out as we go. And you can definitely see the hole that is starting there. It's a little bit diagonal, but I think we'll be able to fix that when we go to expand the hole. We're getting pretty close. We're going to be able to take or make it all the way through here in a few more heats. And I'm starting to get a little bit winded, so I think I'm going to try and finish this particular hole, and then I will probably end the stream for the day. I apologize, but I'm glad I got to hang out with you guys. It was one of those things where I was just like, do I want to cancel another stream or do I want to just do a shorter one, you know? And I'm glad I came out. So yeah, hopefully I will be able to do a little bit of resting this weekend and come back stronger on Monday. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Corwin. I appreciate that. I hope I feel better soon too. I don't know what it is. I think springtime I have a lot of issue in the spring and the fall. We've got a lot of weather dipping and changing, and I think that has an effect on me. And then there's also like, you know, spring cleaning and all that stuff. You know, winter's done and you want to get out and do stuff. So I have a tendency to overdo it. I need to be a better judge of my own abilities, I think. Oh. We are out of propane in this tank. That's all right. We've got enough heat to at least do another heat. At least one more. All right, how we doing? We're almost there. Look at that. It's kind of popping out a little bit. So we're not going to get it out just yet. Let's get this out of here so we can... There it goes. And then I'm going to... Okay. So I've lost my propane. So do I want to end the stream now, or I want to finish this hole? I think I'm going to finish the hole. Has this one got enough in it? It's a little bit less of a trek to the full one. I think I'm going to have to replace this one pretty soon. Okay, a couple more heats, I think, and we should be able to get this hole punched. So like I said, I really want to finish this hole. We've got a couple more heats left, and then I'll probably end the stream. So we've got an ad starting in about a minute and a half, so I wouldn't blame you if you left now, but I would probably do about 2 more heats. We've got a little bit of ways to go on this particular shackle. We've got to flip it around and do the other hole, and we also have to bend it. I will be doing that on Monday. So it should be all right. Yeah. So next week's video is going to be making the eye hooks. And then I've already started editing that video. So, and then after that, I think we're going to do the horse. Because I didn't get a chance to, when I made the lizard video, it got really long. So I was originally going to do the horse and the lizard at the same time, but I divided them up. So, and then shortly, a couple of weeks, we'll actually be out in the Ozarks for the BAM conference. That is also coming up here shortly. I've been talking to some of the organizers of the event and starting to get things nice and set up. So that is always exciting. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more organized than it was last year when we went to the BAM conference. Maybe we'll get a few more people on stream to talk with us. That would be exciting. We had a few exciting people to talk to in the tailgate sales, but I'd like to maybe talk to some artists or some people from the conference themselves. So we'll see if I can't get that kind of stuff set up. And that is going to be happening on, I think, like the 1st of May. The conference starts on the 30th and it ends on the 2nd. I think that we will be streaming live on the 1st. I've got plenty of heat on our piece, so once this ad is over, like I said, I'll probably do about 2, maybe 3 more heats, and we'll see what we can do. Ooh, it's nice. I've got a lot of heat going on in there. It's really quick. Just ran out of water, so I think it's probably really the perfect time to be wrapping up the stream, I think. Unless we were going to do the full stream, you know? Alrighty. Let's see what we got. I don't know. I need to breathe a little bit, I think. Everything is all nice and set up. We'll put that there. We'll put that there for the moment. All right, we are back. Let's do another heat. Nope, I want it over here. Wait, you know, now that I look at this setup, I don't think you're actually seeing what I'm trying, you're not at the Pritchell, which you should be at the Pritchell. There we go. That should be a lot better. There we go. You guys should be able to see a little better. This is what happens when I think about camera angles. They get better. Okay. And you can definitely see we have already ripped all the way through there. So we're going to do a couple of more heats. Kind of straighten that out a little bit. We are going to be putting it through on this direction so that any curvature that we have just created here will come out from hammering it the opposite direction. So we're going to be flipping directions each time as we're opening the sky. Nice and hot. We're getting a lot of progress in there. That's exciting. I mean, we've only really done about 3-4 heats on this so far. We're actually making really good progress, making things go a lot faster than I would normally. I think I'm starting to get a little bit better at, I'm out of this. I'm getting a little bit better at punching holes, so that's really exciting to, you know, realize that I'm getting a little bit better. Okay. Gonna let it get a little bit hotter, and then we'll do our next heat. And I think we'll probably do this next heat and maybe one more. It'll probably not be all the way open, but I think I do probably need to end the stream here shortly. I'm starting to feel it, so. Okay. Let's go. Pick that one back up, and we'll stick that right in there like so. And now we're going to flip it this way. And we're getting a pretty good circle. It's definitely like locked on there. It's not coming off in that direction, so that's exciting. So let's take a look at this. I think we're probably still going to be, or we're going to flip it and put it in this direction. That way we can kind of get rid of any bending that we've occurred or that has occurred. I also need to take a look at that and see if I can get rid of it. That is the little plug. So we'll see what we can do there as well. Woo. That's nice and warm. Exactly the way we want it. Started to get a little bit on the warm side, but it's also wet, so we want to dry that off so it doesn't cool down the hole that we're trying to expand. Should be good. And I think we're going to do one more heat. We're not going to see the drift go all the way through yet, but yeah. We've got an open hole, and the hook is definitely locked in on there, and that's exactly what we want to see. Like I said, we're going to do that on both sides. We've got 2 blocks of steel. I think for our next stream Monday, we're probably going to be using the big forge. And the reason for that is because when we start wanting to curl the shackle, we are going to have to put the entire thing in the forge, and so we're going to need to use the big guy. But until we need to bend that piece, we're definitely going to be using the mailbox because it's a lot more efficient. Okay, last heat of the day, I think. All right, exciting. We're getting there. Okay. So I think that's all I'm going to do for the day. We will finish that, or expanding that hole, on Monday. I will probably spend a tiny bit of time grinding off there's a little bit of flashing, like where it ripped apart on us. And I might get rid of that over the weekend. Hey, Blue Red, thank you so much for joining me today. I am having a little bit of trouble breathing, so I think I'm going to raid off for the day, but thank you so much for joining me. Also, thank you all so much for joining me today. I know it was a little bit less energy than normal, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, take care of yourself. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. You is around for us to read to. Thank you, Sandwich. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's go, Ray Kanara. I hope so. Oh, Play in the Mud is also on. they play in the mud. They're doing some um, uh, pottery. Ooh, they're throwing. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.